complex words, step by step. Part 1. What is a kernel? Every computer has an operating system like Microsoft Windows, Linux, macOS. Inside every OS, there's a core part called the kernel. Simple definition. The kernel is, open quote, the brain of the operating system, close quote. It controls memory, RAM, CPU, hardware, files, processes, permissions. Everything goes through the kernel. Part 2. User mode versus kernel mode. Computers work in two main modes. User mode. Normal apps run here, browser, games, Notepad, limited permissions, kernel mode, full control of system, can access all memory, can control hardware, highest privilege. Why this matters. If attacker hacks, user mode, limited damage, kernel mode, full system control. Kernel exploitation equals getting control of kernel from normal user. Part 3. What is kernel exploitation? Kernel exploitation means, open quote, using a vulnerability in the kernel to gain higher privileges, usually root or admin, close quote. Usually attacker, 1, starts as normal user, 2, finds kernel bug, 3, exploits it, 4, becomes admin root. This is called privilege escalation. Part 4, how kernel bugs happen. Most common reasons: buffer overflow, memory corruption, race condition, use after free, integer overflow. Kernel's written mostly in C language, which is powerful but risky. Part 5, very simple example, concept only. Imagine, kernel has vulnerable code like, you can see the code in our conversation history. If no size check is done, attacker sends large input memory gets overwritten, kernel executes attacker-controlled code, now attacker becomes root. Not real-world examples. Example 1, dirty cow, Linux kernel bug. Affected, Linux bug type, race condition in memory management. Impact, normal user could gain root access, affected millions of Linux systems. This was a real kernel exploitation case. Example 2, Windows privilege escalation bugs. Many vulnerabilities in Microsoft Windows example, Win32k.sys kernel bugs. Attackers used memory corruption, improper validation. Result, user system privileges. Malware often uses this technique. Example 3, Android kernel exploits. Android is based on Linux. Attackers exploited kernel drivers. Result, root access on phone, install spyware, bypass security restrictions. Part 6, why kernel exploitation is dangerous: because full system control, disable antivirus, hide malware deeply, access all files, install rootkits. It is considered critical severity. Part 7, modern protections against kernel exploits. Operating systems use protections like ASLR, address randomization, DIP, no execute memory, stack canaries, SMEP, PSMAP, CPU protections, kernel patch protection. These make exploitation harder, but not impossible. Part 8, who uses kernel exploits? Mostly advanced malware, spyware, nation-state attackers, exploit developers, security researchers. Kernel exploitation is advanced topic. Final simple understanding, kernel exploitation equals using a bug inside the operating system core to gain full system privileges, flow, user, find kernel bug, exploit, become root admin. Real examples, dirty cow, Windows kernel privilege escalation, Android kernel exploits. If you want next, I can explain how privilege escalation works step by step, simple. What is rootkit, basic explanation. Use after free, explained simply. How hackers chain web bug, kernel exploit.